This is the commander-in-chief. When there was an opportunity for a primary, that coverage should have ratcheted up. Even as Biden's health problems were clearly growing in and of themselves, the coverage should have grown proportionally to that, especially proportionally to the fact that Democrats could face a choice on a primary ballot, and that the DNC should treat that really seriously, that the president should treat that competition really seriously. There's very little coverage, and then there was very little coverage, again, even in the aftermath of Biden melting down at the debate. There was very little coverage of the possibility of invoking the 25th Amendment. There's very little coverage of the fact that the man was the sitting president of the United States, not just a candidate to be president again, but this is the guy with the nuclear codes. This is the guy who is making policy decisions that affect the daily lives of Americans. It's just completely insane. And so Tapper, even though he is doing the kind of bare minimum of saying he looks back at this era now with humility, I'm not convinced at all that this is more than a talking point. It would be impossible to sell this book and not concede that you made some mistakes. But I'm just more curious about the lessons that actually were learned. And that's what I'm not hearing a lot about. What I'm hearing from Tapper is more that they were not getting the story. In another CNN interview, he deflected by saying, listen, the bottom line is that the White House lied to the press and they lied to the public, and that this was a really tightly kept secret among Biden advisors who were keeping their own cabinet at an arm's length until they couldn't anymore, until Biden didn't recognize George Clooney, melted down a debate. Well, Clooney only came out and mentioned that Biden hadn't remembered him, recognized him, but he only said it after Biden melted down in the debate. The reason people weren't speaking up at the time was clear. It was that the White House was bullying them into complicity and into silence. The White House was threatening access and was threatening to publicly blast these reporters by putting them into this category of like Trumpy conspiracy theorists.